Alright writers, since a lot of folks seem to like my last video on dialogue tags, let's do a deep dive into tagging dialogue. I'm going to talk about the 3 considerations for which tag you should pick and the 4 different kinds of tags as I understand them. The 3 considerations are clarity, delivery, and rhythm. So who's speaking, how that line's being delivered, and how that line feels as the reader reads it. In my last video, I talked about how said, asked, and replied are the best tools in your toolbox for a simple attribution dialogue tag. So for a tag whose only purpose is to make sure that the reader knows who's speaking. There's nothing wrong with said bookisms in moderation, the key being moderation, but I think the hardcore said bookism camp might see tagging dialogue differently than I do. Because in my mind, straight attribution tags like he said or she said only make up a small fraction of the tags that you use overall. I'll explain. This is standard writing advice here, right? Use said, asked, replied, and don't tag dialogue unless it's necessary. If we already have context that lets us know that only 2 people are in the room and one's a guy, one's a girl, we're gonna know who delivers this second line just by process of elimination. It's simple, it's clean, and it might be all we need, but it might not be enough. Let's say the she in this case is the mother and she's talking to her son. And let's say she's talking to her son from the hallway through his closed door. In this case, a said bookism like snapped might be appropriate because we don't have any body language cues from her, so it's harder to gauge her emotional state. Snapped could be a good choice here because it adds context which the kid further unpacks through internalization. And then we use said here, which is a less obtrusive dialogue tag just to balance it out. But we can also attribute dialogue through action. There are no dialogue tags in this section, just action tags. And those action tags, plus the addition of the pet name Honey in the mother's voice, makes it pretty clear who's talking in both of these lines. Finally, we have kind of the weediest one, but a powerful one, which is attribution through internalization. In this scenario, it's the context and what the kid is saying to himself in his internal narrative that lets us know who is talking. He explains the context for the reader, and his explanation makes it possible for the reader to fill in the blanks. These tools will allow you to focus on what's important in that dialogue exchange. Is attribution most important? Is the delivery of the line most important? And something that's always important is rhythmic variation. Mixing up what kind of tag you use is going to add variety, and it'll make it so you don't have to use some of those banana said bookisms that detract more than they add to the story.